Hello and welcome back. I hope you are having an incredible week. I actually wanted to do something a little bit different in today's video. Mum and I actually took quite an exceptional trip a while back for my birthday. And it wasn't something that I shared on YouTube at the time, but I did actually film the trip for my own memories, basically. And I had cause to watch the footage back, and it was just, watching it back just brought the biggest smile to my face. We had some truly unforgettable experiences on this trip. And that's kind of what I thought I would do with you today. I think I'm actually going to share this footage with you. It is pretty much my home movies. So I do apologize. It's filmed very much in that way. I'm not sort of being super informative or anything like that, but very, very briefly, just to explain what we did, we managed to get, for my birthday, an incredible package deal to travel to Canberra, which Mum and I have never been to before. And we stayed at the Jamala Wildlife Lodge, which is a luxury lodge that is situated in the zoo, like the Canberra kind of national zoo there. And this zoo does a lot with regards to like conservation efforts and, you know, rescuing animals from other situations and all sorts of things. It has quite a prominent breeding program for endangered animals and all those sorts of things. And so you can actually stay in this lodge, and it's very much a 5-star experience. And when Mum and I went, we stayed in the Giraffe Treehouse Lodge. And so basically they give you this tour of this zoo, like a sort of behind the scenes tour of this zoo, which was just magical. We got to hand feed the giraffes. The treehouse that we stayed in was pretty much in the giraffe enclosure. So even, first up, you'll see in the footage, but first up in the morning, I wake up and I look out and there's just a giraffe right there. We got to hand feed the giraffes. We got to feed tigers, which was, I'd never done anything like that before. It was just, there's just no words. It's just, I have a really soft spot for tigers. And I know they're doing a lot of conservation with the tigers they have there. Several of the tigers they have in the zoo are actually like rescue tigers who have come to them through other situations and can't actually be released back into the wild. And so, they're raising a lot of money for tigers in the wild. And anyway, I won't keep going on about that, but we got to hand feed tigers. We got to, through a fence, we sort of had like metal tongs and the tiger was right there and we got to like feed him with the metal tongs. Obviously, safety first. We got to walk a cheetah. We accompanied Solo, the cheetah, on his sort of big afternoon walk out sort of in the back area of the zoo. And we got to pat him and just spend pretty much a good hour with Solo, touching him, listening to him purr. He was just beautiful. Even, after all this time, I still think about that. Such a... one of those moments that, you have in your life that I think you look back on, for just, as just such a truly exceptional thing to, such an exceptional experience to have had. And so fortunate, Mum and I both, and so happy that we got to have that experience. We got to, what else did we do? We rubbed a rhino's belly. Anyway, it's just this really incredible trip. And as I said, it wasn't something that I was going to share on YouTube, but watching the footage back and just, it was just delightful. It brought me so much joy to rewatch it and to really relive those memories. If you're ever in the Canberra area, I cannot recommend the Jamala Wildlife Lodge any more highly. The experience of going there was just... you kind of felt like, I was on like an African safari, but I was sort of in Canberra. which was really incredible. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to cut to that footage. But again, I just want to stress, I wasn't really filming this for YouTube, so I'm probably not super informative. I was kind of more just filming it for myself and, you know, for my memories and that. So I truly hope that you enjoy this one.
Probably nobody else on it except us.
I think that they may not be at this time. I was going to say the people before us were going to go on it. But how miniature is this train?
Oh, really? Oh, I see it. It's like one of the ginger factories.
Oh, okay, it's not miniature. So it's a little park filled with miniatures. Like, it's like a little miniature like football field. I mean, the flowers are beautiful. Ooh, that tree over there is really nice. That one right there. Really pretty. Such an unusual concept. That's cute.
Bullet train. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so unusual. So Mum and I are just waiting for our tiger encounter. That's at 2:30. So we're just here at the tiger enclosure now, waiting for our guide to come and do the encounter. I think we get to like feed them through the glass or something like that. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the female tiger is just there on the platform, and the male tiger's on the other side. So yeah, so hopefully we'll get a nice close-up view of it.
As always.
If you grew up with one,
Oh yeah, so you can definitely have nice tigers, but he's not he hasn't had. I'm trying to think. Actually, I don't think Archie was ever hand raised. Most of our tigers are hand raised from the other zoos, and so they were worked in with when they were little, but eventually they get a little bit too big, and the keepers stop working with them, and we have a work in the tigers skeleton here. So when they move, they definitely have So those whiskers, just like your house cats, where they have a lot of sensation, and so you'll see him scratching and rubbing his face on that fence. This is just a tiny portion. This is beef. We do feed them mainly leaner meat, so chicken, deer, rabbit, stuff like that. But for his treat, for his encounter, he gets the beef. It is calculated from his diet as well, so he's not getting anything extra. And if there wasn't an encounter book today, he would have got this with his breakfast. So he only gets fed in the morning, his big meal. And that is 5 days a week. He actually has 2 days a week. He actually has 2 non-consecutive fasting days, which I think are Tuesday and Saturday at this point. It might be determined. But that is to simulate wild diet. So your big cats are generally gorge feeders. They will go hunting, they'll kill something, they'll eat as much as they can. They won't have to eat for several days afterwards. And so we just mimic that a little bit.
Do you want to?
Get closer if you need as well.
He does it very well, but very almost like gently. Well behaved.
Most of our tigers are actually pretty good feeders. In fact, one of our tigers, Baru, I'd say he's our most gentle feeding animal in the entire zoo. And then we have some other cats that are snatchers. So our lion enclosure has like our lion encounter has like a 50-50 chance of losing the tigers. So it's much more relaxed here. What are you watching, buddy? So while he's nice and close, you'll notice he's a fairly lean animal.
Yes.
So tigers are from jungles and forests. Obviously, there's a lot of obstacles in your way. You want to be as slender as possible.
Yes, yeah.
When you compare them to one of their close relatives, the lions are much larger, much wider, and that's because they are from the savannah, which is just a big open plain. It doesn't really matter how slender they are. There's nothing in their way. They can be big and bold. And then you'll notice the larger the tiger is, the less. So your Siberian tigers up in the snow.
Yeah.
Not as much vegetation, so they don't have to be as skinny or as small.
Yes, yeah.
Animals tend to get larger the further away from the equator they get. When you're at the equator, where it's really hot and humid. You want to be small. It takes much less toll on the body.
Yeah. Yes, definitely not a snatcher. He's very,
He's nice and patient now. You'll see him later. Generally, sometimes he's in a good mood when we finish, but sometimes he just wants more.
Yeah. And do they, I missed it, I'm sorry before you said it, do they just have breakfast or they have breakfast and dinner?
Just breakfast, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Ajay! He's still more, my boy. You get grumpy. So just breakfast, one big feed. It usually happens... Usually happens about 8:30 in the morning, but we don't tend to advertise feeds here at our zoo because when you work with animals, sometimes one animal will just delay you half an hour and your whole day's out.
Yes.
It's unfair on the keepers to then try and run around to get to feed what they can.
And you want to put pressure on it, you know, if they're slow or, you know, whatever's happening is happening.
You want to switch back over? Oh, you're getting loud, buddy.
Rub your belly. Like a little kitten, hey?
So you might notice his feet are also quite broad.
Yes.
So that's just for balance.
Oh, really?
They want to be nice and agile moving through the forest. They don't want to be tripping over while they're hunting prey.
Because his front ones are bigger than his back ones.
He wants more.
So when they're jumping and landing, like a lot of that balance comes from the front end.
Yeah.
They have that tail at the back end to help them balance down there. Oh, you're sitting down for us.
Nice. Nice boy.
So he's quite a smart boy. He is conditioned for voluntary blood draws. So we don't have to knock him out to take blood. We have a special slot in his den where we open up a little hatch on the floor, we pull his tail through, we shave the top of it, and the vet can take blood from the vein that runs down his tail.
Yeah.
He wants to give him his last piece.
Mum, you can. No, that's all right.
Oh. You are. Come on. You're done.
I have to show that. I'm not too worried about the times. That's pretty good. Now this is where he may, still recording, he may grumble at this stage when I tell him there's no more. Oh God.
Ooh.
Yeah. No more food. It's a rough life being a tiger.
Wow.
So as he walks away, you might be able to see the white on the backs of his ears, although he's actually
I can see them.
got his ears
Yes.
facing us at the moment. That's actually the proper side of his ears. He hasn't flicked them around yet. Just on top now, you can see just a white
Oh,
stripe.
yes, yeah.
That's what we call a predator spot. It's not just tigers. We have servals you might see later. These
Yes.
little cats as well. They all they have these predator spots on the backs of their ears to avoid or to deter predation. Tigers can attack. Tigers like to attack from behind. So 90% of a tiger's hunts will begin from the rear.
Look at him in the water.
Hello. 360. Smalls. Tucker. TK. Tucker. Smalls. I think they might be done, guys.
Hello, Mr. Alpaca. Look at your hair. Look at his hair. Sitting very nicely, but we won't touch you because we were warned that you would spit on us if we touch you. So this is our home for the night. Oh, the door's very nice. Oh, the music. So this is our room. Oh, wow. Oh, our luggage is here. Look at the giraffes on our patio.
The other one's just gone into the lodge, and maybe there's food in there or something.
So we're in the giraffe treehouse suite for tonight. So obviously we have giraffe here. So at 3:30 today, I don't know what the time is now.
10 past.
10 past 3. So at 3:30 today, apparently we get given carrots and stuff like that, and we will hand feed the giraffes from our balcony. And then they'll sort of, you know, wander around and that, and we just got told that they'll be here in this sort of enclosure until about 9 o'clock tomorrow. So they'll sort of just be around. Yeah. Very beautiful. So yes, we're staying in the giraffe treehouse. Number 4, this one is. And then, well, there is a TV. And then there's just a nice bathroom here with like a bath, big double sinks, shower. they got those little tiny funny little horns on their heads.
His are a lot different than hers. You see how his are different? His darker. Oh, this one's
Not gonna lie, he seems fuzzy. I think I'd like to pat him. And like the nice little tuft down his back.
It is.
He's her, whatever.
Like a razorback.
Yeah.
No, you want to pat him, don't you?
So pretty.
Hello.
I've just got one more and then I'll stop with you. Yes. Yeah, there's two more in the thing.
Oh, goodness me. Greetings, well.
We've all got one more each.
Is that the
No, that's our young one.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know more as well.
So cute.
You've really got to hold your hands away to get a pet.
I know. Yep.
Where are you?
No, she's actually got
Hello. Yes? She seems to be the one who wants all the food.
She does want all the food, but he's the pushy.
He's food.
No, little one's a male, big one's a female. He's only smaller than you. He's a wee babe. Over the side.
I'm taking photos and
I can see that.
I look at him. He's rubbing himself and scratching his back. Pre-dinner drinks.
Firstly, to start off with, hyenas are an incredibly intelligent animal, especially their social intelligence. These guys are living in clans of up to 100 hyenas. And within that social group, there is a very, very strict, they are phenomenal predators in their own right. They are the most common African predator, so they've clearly done something right, because there's more of them than any of the others. And so if they need to, they're a pretty decent endurance hunter, but more often than not, I think people see them as having to wait around for whatever the leftovers are of any other predator near them. But in actuality, these guys, if there's enough of them, they pose a very dangerous threat, to the point that they can actually bully things like a pride of lions out, away from their food rather, and then they will steal it from them as opposed to waiting for whatever is left over. And so they are definitely a formidable predator. Now, in terms of what they're eating, they are very much a carnivore, but more than that, they're an incredibly powerful carnivore. They can eat pretty much anything, including all of the bones of the carcass, because if you have a look at them, we very lovingly call them our buff heads because of those massive heads, but that is there to support a huge jaw that is able to crush and crack through that bone, so they do quite literally go through the entire carcass. Now, I have heard John below us opening up the dens for our two lovely white lions, Jake and Mishka, who will hopefully in a moment come up behind me. Hello, big fella.
Mishi, come darling. Mishka. Go sweetheart, come on.
He's huge.
Now, once you've had a little chance to get close and take some photos, do feel free, but please I do ask that you move around so everyone has that chance as well. So we've got Jake up top and Mish is just coming in behind now as well. She likes to grab hers and head straight back inside where she can have some space from her brother. Now they are both white lions, of course, and they are brother and sister, born many, many years ago. They're now actually 16 years old and they have been here since they were about 7 months. And so we've had them for quite a while, to say the least. We haven't bred them, we don't have any plans to breed them or split them up either. We are quite somewhat sentimental. Not just much.
Wow. Mishka, the white lion. Today is Thursday the 17th of August. I didn't film anything last night after dinner because it was really late by the time we got back. We had a really nice dinner. So you would have seen from the footage, we basically just went and they had like an open bar there, so we had a couple of drinks and then we just went in and they had the hyenas there and they had the white lions, which were huge, and just their brother and sister, and that was really great. Dinner was amazing. So we had like a little assortment of like entrees, which was great. They catered for me for like dietary requirements and stuff, and that was really nice. And then I think we had like an oyster, we had pumpkin soup, we had some sort of like salmon with like spicy sort of sushi rice under it. We had some sort of pork thing, and we had, what else was there? Like a little quiche thing that was quite spicy along the bottom, and then like beef, like these little beef sort of strips as well. And then for main, I had steak with like potatoes and carrots and broccoli and that. So I filmed little snippets of that. And then for dessert, I just had a fruit plate. We sort of sat at long tables, and the company we had last night was really good. We sat next to another mother and daughter. Natasha was the daughter, and the mother, I cannot remember her name now. But they were great. We had a lot in common with them. They were really friendly, really easy to talk to, so that was lovely. And you can see the giraffes are just busy this morning. I don't know if he can see me and that's why he's here, because he thinks he's getting food, or... But, yeah, so then we didn't get home, we didn't get back to the room until like 10 o'clock last night. And then by the time we sort of got ready for bed and stuff and went to bed, it was like 11. And given that we started the day at like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m, it was a long day, but a really, really good day. We both had such a good day and so much fun. And yeah, so it's 6:30 now, and we're just getting up and getting ready to go because we've got to go and have breakfast, and then we've got the zoo tour at 8:15. It's, I think today, like right now, it's supposed to be -2. You can see like all the frost and the mist and things out there. It's supposed to be -2. It's going to be a very cold start to the zoo tour this morning, and then that'll finish, so that starts at 8:15 and it finishes around 10. So I'll try and film bits and pieces of the tour, like all the animals and things like that. And then we'll come back to the room and just get our bags ready to go, and then we'll check out. And then we've got the cheetah walk today at 11. So we get to walk solo the cheetah, and then I think we're gonna, depending on how we go with this zoo tour, we might end up going and doing our own sort of tour of the zoo, and then we'll head over to the Hyatt after that. So I'm just giving you a bit of a rundown now because I don't know how much more I'll be able to sort of talk throughout the day. So I'll just explain what's going to happen if you see like random snippets of video. All right, we're gonna go keep getting ready for the freezing cold morning.
Thirsty. Very thirsty.
We've been told that we shouldn't touch them because they don't really like to be touched, especially around the face. So we're trying to be respectful of that and not, yeah.
No food left. Oh, there is food down the bottom.
This is where we go for breakfast. We also had dinner here last night. It's the rainforest cave.
Do you feel like Charlie? Every move we just get the camera.
Look at them, look at the tail.
Yes. Yes. All just fish.
Look at them sunning themselves. Very cute. It's sort of hard to see them in the light. Won't stand in the sun. I've got the pool. I mean, it's not a good time for a pool now. Oh, he's in a little hammock. Oh, they're gorgeous. Such long tails.
They're very aerodynamic. With all
Oh,
their
wow.
flights. So yeah, they live high up in trees and they're what we call like sort of leafies.
Wow.
So yeah, it helps them be a bit more aerodynamic. They also, as primates, lack an opposable thumb.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a bit sad because colobus means mutilated one for that
Oh.
very reason. And I love that.
Other than that, guys, it is a working zoo, and if you haven't heard it already whilst you've been here this morning, it's about 5 AM. It's kind of our busiest hours of the day, so there's going to be lots going on. To add to that, we're also going to be going behind the scenes at various points today, and hopefully meeting some of our animals. So at those points, we just ask for everyone's eyes and ears so I can give clear and concise instructions, so we can have an amazing time, but also a safe time. Anyway, on that note, if you'd all like to follow me down the long skinny
Tallest tiger at the zoo. She weighs about 85 kilograms.
Waiting for
And I bet
breakfast.
you guys, but I weigh a few kilograms more than that, and I'm nowhere near as impressive as her. And then on the other side of the fence, we've got our very elusive RJ. He's actually walking right below us right now, I suspect, and he will continue to prep. She knows that breakfast is coming sometime in the next 90 minutes, and then it's going to come around that path. So she's watching, ready. What, she stopped to stalk someone?
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, but you can also see that she's a pretty relaxed tiger right at the minute. If you take a look at that tail there, it's curled up like a fish hook. This is like international sign language for all different species that goes, hey, you're moving through my territory right now. I've got no express purpose of hunting or running or hiding away. Whereas if you ever see a tiger with the tail flat like an arrow, run. So generally by the time you've got a really good look at the tail, it's all a bit too late. But you can see, oh, here you go. As you see she comes, can you see her tail get really flat? Yeah. So she's watching, and you can, so we can actually see live what that difference in behaviour is. This is what we refer to as light switch behaviour. It's where she's going from being a big relaxed cat to very, very interested, and then she's switched back again. He can not only kick around, but he can walk. Now, I'm
Tree
not sure
kangaroo.
If you're familiar with Monty Python and the Ministry of Silly Walks. This weird little shuffle is kind of similar to one of the walks on Police Station Skip, but it's very, very strange. It's absolutely hilarious to watch. Is that dangerous or is it not? Hi. Here we've got Dad, Ollie, and then his 4 kids. So we've got Zeke, Zulu, Zali, and then Kai. Kai's the one with the pale face in the corner. We've got Zeke over here, that's Dad up there, and then we've got Zali and Zulu there. And they're a group of boys, they get up to a lot of mischief here at the National Zoo and Aquarium. They're what we refer to as slender-tailed mongoose. And these guys can actually develop resistance to poison. So in the wild, they can actually hunt poisonous, venomous snakes as well as scorpions. In fact, scorpions is one of their favourite foods in the world. So these guys are insectivores in the wild, means they primarily eat insects. Here at the zoo, their diet's a little bit more varied. We make it a bit healthier. It's akin to your mum and dad making you eat vegetables, which is what we do. We make them eat their vegetables. But they love a bit of a snack. And you can see right now, they've got morning to me. Alrighty. So you can see here we not only have a home for 2 giraffes, but 2 zebras as well. So you might be mistaken in thinking that the giraffe closest to us is our male, but she's actually an older female. She's 8 years old and her name is Sky. For our Giraffe Treehouse guests, I'm sure you know who the other one is. That's Kamisi, he's our young male and he's just about to turn 3 in a couple of months. So he's not very old yet, he's still got a lot of growing to do. But you can see he's already almost as tall as Sky. He's also got 2 of the other troublemakers this exhibit, joining Kamisi, are our 2 zebras in here. They're 2 adolescent boys, and they, with Kamisi, cause possibly more trouble than any other animal at the zoo. They popped their favourite soccer ball the other day. It's this big, heavy-duty soccer ball, bigger than I am, so they love to muck around with and kick at Sky. And they've now managed to pop it, so they're a bit sad. They also spend a lot of their time play fighting together. So they'll muck around and have gentle fights as they learn how to be, you know, adult territorial males. But they're absolutely awesome. What we're seeing right now is our giraffes using their prehensile tongue to kind of strip the leaves off that branch as well as a bit of the bark. Giraffes really are a fascinating species of animal. Do you know they have the same amount of vertebrae in their spine and neck as we do? It's exactly the same. They just evolved to get really, really big. Same as a mouse in fact, which is crazy. But these guys are utterly fascinating. I think you can see our zebra boys having caused a bit of strife. Now, if you're wondering what the difference is between a fully grown zebra and a slightly younger zebra, you can see it right there. See that kind of brown fuzz he has on his mohawk? If you were to get close, he'd have that brown film kind of all over his body. But they are utterly fascinating. Now, you might be wondering about those two, horn-looking things on the top of our giraffes. They're what we refer to ossicones. And while Sky's a fully grown, Kometes will get progressively bigger and bigger as he's older, and he'll basically use that front of his head a bit like a battering ram. When giraffe males fight for territory and females, they'll swing their neck at something called necking, and basically their head is used, and whoever can hit the hardest, and it's basically their technique. Now, I'm sure you can see the problem that we have here at the National Zoo and Aquarium is, despite being the largest bird in the world that can run up to 85 kilometres an hour, it is not ruling the roost at its own exhibit. The native pigeons, corellas and cockatoos very much are the boss of this exhibit. No one else is. For these guys here, they are absolutely fascinating. But ostriches can be best described as inquisitive, but not very intelligent. Lots of people attribute size to intelligence, but really, ostriches are not the smartest bird in the world. You'll see if they start pecking the ground there, they're trying to catch ants. You can't see any ants, it's because there aren't any there. Anyway, so we actually have to feed our ostriches about 1.5 times the amount of food they require to account for all the pigeons and cockatoos. I don't know if you've seen some of the cockatoos around the working zoo. Also, did anyone, these are wapiti, also known as white butt elk. In fact, wapiti roughly translates to white butt in the indigenous language of the Canadian people. And so you can see Dad's being a bit of a bully to one of his sons right here at the moment. But these guys here are ambassadors as well. They're here to show the Australian public just how different type of animals are around the world. And in particular, I want you to note the ground. See how it's devoid of grass? These guys are fantastic grazers. But although a lot of that damage to the ground is actually caused by their hooves. It pierces through the first layers of the substrate and grass and rips up. Isn't he magnificent? So those are antlers, guys. He grows them every single year and they grow back bigger. It takes him about 2.5, 3 months, and he'll have them for about 6, 7 months total. After the breeding season, he'll give a little shake to his head very gently and they'll drop off. And the reason he does this is when they're migrating, they're often moving through tightly packed forests, and you wouldn't want to get stuck in the trees. This year they moved to 45 minutes of birth. And also very particular is that if they're running along, their legs are roughly the same height, even though their body is much smaller. It means they're harder to pick out for predators. Just one of those fascinating, natural evolutions which help these animals. Now, zebras are astounding. They're absolutely incredible animals. They are so, because there are no guarantees that Ubuntu is going to come over. It's partly why we don't advertise it on the morning tour. There is nothing anyone can make a over 2-ton animal do if he doesn't want to. Saying that, I'm going to give it my best shot, asking him politely. So his name is Ubuntu. He's our largest white rhino here at the zoo. He's absolutely fantastic. Ubuntu. So what I'm looking for here is the behaviour of the ears. He's telling me what his preference is. They're actually very expressive, intelligent animals. I can see with those ears whether he's listening to me, whether he's ignoring me. I can see right at the minute what he's doing. He's ignoring me in favour of breakfast. You can see he's listening. Come on, Ubuntu. Please. Good boy. Come on. Bunty. So if you see those ears flick back a little bit further there, it's kind of the rhino version of ignoring you for the moment. So we would try to do anything possible. Isn't that right, Ubuntu? But what's really really sad is that, despite amazing educational programs over like active war conflict like they do some, it would be one of the deadliest of the 21st century. I appreciate it. You're making me late now. Don't be shy about it, guys. Don't be shy on anyone else. I need some volunteers. I can't pack the rhino all by myself. Come on, man, give it a crack.
There you go.
Alrighty. You want to come? You can come and be stationed here if you like. I need someone to scratch in here. Yeah, exactly. That's why I like being scratched. It's where he can't normally get to. Alrighty. Was there anyone else? I think you might be leaving us. This is Solo, and as the name implies, he was born as a solo cheetah, which is exceptionally unusual. Generally, their litters number between 3 to 8 individuals, so to have only one, generally in the wild, would be a death sentence for Solo. However, his mum continued to care for him for about 17 days until her milk actually dried up. So it's like nature's way of telling her that, hey, this one probably won't make it to adulthood, you need to try again. And so he's got a very, very special story. You can see how he moves there, that floating set of shoulders, and everything about him is built for speed. But what's really exceptional is that day 17, unfortunately, we had to make a difficult choice between his life and staying with mum and him continuing his life because her milk dried up. There wasn't enough stimulation. Basically, she hadn't given birth to enough cubs. So it was nature's way of telling her, try again. Because generally, cheetah cubs in the wild have about an 18% survival rate. These are fallow deer. They're actually here in Australia in their tens of thousands. They're quite a problem. They're a pest here in Australia. But these guys were rescued instead of being shot. So now they're here as ambassadors to teach you guys all about our fallow deer and the problems they cause in Australia. If you'd like to feed our fallow deer, hands out flat like a plate. Now their favourite is the carrot, but they will eat the celery. You just got to be patient with them, and some of our deer are a bit more fussier than others. Trying to get pieces that they can see. Come on, Ram. Oh, there we go. We got one taken. That's pretty good success. We've had what, 2 out of 3 animals so far. These guys tigers here at the zoo, and these guys are here for a very important reason. The reason they're still together is because we're actually anticipating having to split them up when they first arrive as they got called to adulthood. They really enjoy each other. But I mentioned before that there is human intervention.
And that line, oh yeah. So that's the line that we had at dinner last night. That's the line that we had at dinner last night. And the brother and sister, the other one. And so these are the ones that are making all the noise. I know, taunting him on the other side. Servals lying in the sun. In the sun. Hyenas sunning themselves on the deck. I don't know if I can get a... You can see them up there. Is that him? He's so cute. Like making the sound?
No.
He's ready for his walk.
Yes, he's like, hello, are our 2 leopard boys. So the 2 boys that were born here on Christmas Eve 3 years ago now. They're getting ready for export.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have a breeding program here for the leopards?
Yes.
Yeah.
The leopards are actually for the first few months of his life. So we started hand raising solos from 19 days old.
Okay.
Mum did really well to raise him for those first 19 days. At which point her milk just dried up.
Yeah.
Not enough cubs suckling, not enough stimulation. There's nothing that she could have done about that. She was actually a really good mum and really looked after him. It's just usually there are litters of 3 to 5. Can get up to 9. That can
wow.
So she, just like humans, if you don't have that regular suckling from a child. Should be our cheat. I don't need to be a photographer.
You could pop them in.
I'll be your photographer today.
Turn out better photos.
Tasha will kind of move you around and that sort of stuff around solo.
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure that we're listening to him. Good rule of thumb, you're always going to come in on the same side as Serena, okay, when we're batting.
Okay.
It's going to be nice and flat, stick to his spine, no higher than his harness,
Yep.
no lower than the base of his tail.
Okay.
Please don't try and touch his legs, his tummy, his face, anything like that. As much as we would like to be touched by a stranger in those places, he is very much the same. Nice and flat. Oh, funny. If he's sitting up, standing up, walking around, we're going to stay up nice and tall for me.
Yep.
If he decides to lie down on the ground somewhere, you can then come down onto one knee like that. Just make sure that you always have one foot planted to be able to get up and move. He's just very roly-poly, that's all. Very cute. Okay.
He's gorgeous.
Who wants to come in first? Maybe you? You're closer? I'll grab that one. Yeah, that's fine. As you can see, he doesn't really care though. He's like, I'll watch it, but... So yes, he's got a horse show jumping arena across the road, obviously in front of the fence, Exhibit A, with bikes and dogs and kids and all sorts of fun and exciting things. The dam and stream that kind of runs down there, he gets, you know, fish and pelicans and fishermen and all that sort of stuff. Looking back that way, you can see kind of back into some of our ungulate enclosures, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they like, sorry, they point, see the fur like points up. Yeah. Yeah. He's very well behaved.
He loves his walks. At top speed, you're looking maybe 3-5 seconds max.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it, you know, you've got increased body temperature, heart rate, respiratory rate, all of those, blood pressure, all that sort of stuff. It puts a huge amount of stress on their organs. And then obviously if you're running that fast, all of your joints and muscles as well.
Yeah.
So yes, only about 300 metres, which makes them definitely a sprinter, not a marathon runner. At the end of the day though, after that sprint, it's very similar to what we would look like if we ran a marathon. Jiggly legs, all that sort of stuff. So they're not going to run for fun. They will run at it. They can see his body is built for speed. He's small at the front, large at the back. All the power comes from those back legs there. He's got very minimal power in his upper body. It has what we call floating shoulders, which means his shoulder blades are only attached by ligaments and muscles. There's no bone-to-bone ball and socket joint there. It does mean he can reach strides at about 8 metres long at full run. But when he walks, you'll really notice a rock in his upper body. So I would definitely recommend having a look at that next time he's up and about. That's how you can tell those floating shoulders. So yes, all those power in those beautiful big back legs there. His tail, you mentioned, from a distance it probably looks quite fluffy.
Yeah.
You can see up close though it's actually quite flat and oval.
Yes.
It acts as a rudder when they're running, helps them to change direction. Essentially he can swing that tail, no contact with the ground, and completely change direction, which is really important for him. With all the different food types he's going to be chasing up. You'll just think you're an insect. Yeah, he's just watching. That's yours.
Bright and shiny thing. We can hear the helicopter.
Yeah, the helicopter makes it a bit funny.
Such a great experience.
Yeah, good boy.
Beautiful, you are. Absolutely beautiful.
He's ready for breakfast.
Happy boy. Kisses.
Very good boy.
We just left, we checked out Jamala. We had a final coffee and tea before we left. And we've just checked into the Hyatt. So one of our rooms, we've got 2 rooms here. One of our rooms was ready. So we've just come up to the room. This is the room here. We're just waiting on the other room to be ready, but they're going to bring up our luggage. So we're just going to freshen up and then go downstairs and have some lunch. This is the view. It's stunning. The Hyatt's absolutely beautiful. It's like an old house, basically, an old sort of home complex. So it's not a huge, 20-story hotel or anything like that. So it's really beautiful, very traditional sort of looking. So this is just the bathroom. Beautiful bathroom. The tile is stunning. So just your shower, toilet's down there. Sink, really nice bathtub. So maybe having a bath tonight. So many pianos. Watch your step. Obsessed with these trees. Like, it's huge. You can see Mum there for size. It's absolutely massive. Today is Friday the 15th of August.
18th. We came here on the 16th.
Oh, it might be the 18th. I'm not sure, but it is definitely Friday. The weather's not the best today, but hopefully it will clear a little bit. It looks like it's clearing a little bit over there. We're just going to go down and grab some breakfast at the Hyatt. And then... I wonder what that is. I wonder if that's frost. Because I know yesterday at the zoo, all the ground was still frozen and all the seats in that were frozen. So I wonder if that's just frost blowing off of the trees. Interesting. This is Kingston.